So it's raining and you might think, oh no, Robbie, what are you gonna do? The lawn is gonna grow. Actually, as long as it's raining, I cannot mow the lawn. We've only got 4 days left in June, which means if it can rain today and throughout the weekend, I may just be able to go all of July with 0 mows. And September is usually the end of the mowing season. So if I'm lucky, I could get 1 mow in August. And if I'm really, really lucky, no mows in September. And you know what that is, baby? That's 6! And you know, if we didn't have such an insane April and May, 6 would have been no problem. I probably did 6 last year. Oh yees of little faith. Oh ye, oh ye. So I have this theory, and I'm not even sure that it's my theory, but I think that everybody has one of those Liam Neeson specific set of skills. They can be very specific and they're not always useful, but I think everybody has something like that. And I believe mine very specifically are suited for this upcoming task. Look at this. What's going on here? See that little postage stamp size discoloration? It's from the tag. What type of crappy glue did they use? Also, Dara, I tried not to eat all of the Fruz balls, but there's only 2 left now. Somebody said that they sell these at Trader Joe's, so I'm probably gonna have to get another one for the other guys to try. I was like Ooter, and I was like, I begged you! I begged you! These served as excellent fuel, though, for me to finish editing the next episode, which is now essentially done. The project file by itself is 629.6 megabytes. And the reason the project file is so big is because I shot it all handheld. For this trip, it was just me and Thomas, so all we had was a tripod and I shot everything else handheld. So I had to put a lot of warp stabilizer on there, and when you do that, that makes the file sizes much, much bigger. Anyway, the project is essentially finished. It just needs shout outs right now. I know it will be disappointing that Andrew and Brian are not there, but I still think it will be a very full, meaty episode that you will enjoy. Also, Sierra was there, and the episode is almost 2 hours long, so hopefully you'll like it. And if you don't, I'm sure people will let me know. This might still be beyond my capabilities, but I'm gonna try to move everything on this side over to that side so that this can still be used as a garage. I think I can do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I didn't throw away anything, I just reorganized it a bit, so. And this half is car. Okay, time for Rob's Media Corner. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. That movie has the best car chase I've ever seen in my life. It is Lupin III, Castle of Cagliostro, brought to real life. How anybody has the intestinal fortitude to make movies like that, I do not know. Just the action, just ratcheted up nonstop. It makes me want to rewatch the other ones because I've seen all of them, but I don't remember being that blown away by them. This one was just, oh, it was incredible. How did they, God, just all of the stunts and production. Oh, and I just get to enjoy it as this finished product. Awesome. Across the Spider-Verse, also very, very good. Not much needs to be said, but if you loved Into the Spider-Verse, you'll love Across the Spider-Verse. Also a crazy production that just, it constantly boggles my mind that people are able to make things like this. Finally, I have not seen Oppenheimer yet, but I do live in a city that has a 70mm IMAX screen. Unfortunately, I did not buy my tickets early enough, so I did not get very good seats, and I'm really hoping that they extend the run because it's only showing for like 3 weeks. It's really weird to me that they would go through all the effort of filming it in 70mm, putting it on a 70mm projection, and then only showing it for 3 weeks. Like every show is sold out. I'm sure they're gonna extend it. They gotta extend it. All right, I gotta go eat lunch. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, what is today's date?
It's Monday, the 31st of July 2023.
Guess who has not mowed the lawn a single time in July? Now, granted, there was some ribwort plantain that I did have to trim twice. That took all of 45 seconds each time though. And I did that because I think the last time I got a notice, it was because of our dandelions. Like I actually read the notice, it said you can't have weeds that are longer than 6 inches long. And let me tell you, there was a point earlier this year where we had a colossal amount of dandelions. So I think the main thing is you just gotta make the yard look presentable. As long as it's presentable, you won't get any flack from anybody. And I might not even mow it tomorrow. I might wait even longer. We're gonna go for Kramer on that highway, boy, on E! Man, it brings me absolutely no pleasure to say it, but I am not enjoying Final Fantasy 16. It started out incredibly strong. But now that we're actually into the meat and potatoes of the game, the battle system is really simple. There's almost no RPG elements in the game. There's no party. There's no sense of adventure. The medieval world is just this generic medieval world with just hints of Final Fantasy. And it just feels like they're trying to make a game that appeals to an audience that might not even exist. It keeps saying you can't do turn-based battles anymore for today's audience. Stardew Valley is one of the best-selling games of all time, and it's about farming. Cater to the audience that brought you to the dance. I just don't believe that you need to simplify Final Fantasy to the point of it being Devil May Cry, but it's not as deep as Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. So it's you get a watered down version of that, and you're already getting a watered down version of Final Fantasy. Oh, it's so disappointing. Then again, I was somebody who didn't like Final Fantasy VIII when it first came out. I grew to love that game, but at the time it was just like, what is this? And I'm feeling the same way about Final Fantasy 16. Although Final Fantasy 16, I don't know if I'm gonna come around to it. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's mediocre. I take no pleasure in it. No pleasure in it at all. Okay, here's the main issue. This is not negotiable in a Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy is going on an adventure with friends, okay? That is not negotiable. You need to have a party of heroes going on an adventure together. Just this lone wolf, raspy voice, witcher, whispering, talking all the time. So disappointed, so disappointed. I'm still gonna finish it. It's a decent game. It's just, God, if they had just named it something else, like named it like Crystal Legacy Game, I'd be like, oh, this is a great game. You should call it Final Fantasy 16. There's a whole different set of standards. Come on. Ribwort plantain. It's been pretty hot lately, like the rest of the world. But today, it's actually super nice. Sierra. I thought it was wildfire smoke at first, but no, that's somebody burning leaves. Have you guys heard about what happened to LeBron James's son? He suffered cardiac arrest during a basketball practice. I've probably mentioned this before, but I will never forget this. The most negligent thing a basketball coach has ever said in my presence was one time we were running sprints during practice, and the coach said, just keep running. The worst that'll happen is you'll pass out. And that is one of the most negligent things I've ever heard a human being say. No matter what level of an athlete you are, feel free to push yourself, but don't push yourself too hard because you can die. Anyway, I'm sure he'll be fine, but apparently this happened last year at the same basketball program. And it's like, what are they asking these kids to do, man? 18 years old is way too young to have cardiac arrest. But that'll do it for today's vlog. Sorry about complaining about Final Fantasy 16. I hate being one of those nerds on the internet who's just complaining about some new piece of media that took countless hours of effort and time, and I just come in and I say, I don't like it. I don't want to be that person, and I don't want to not like it, but I don't really like it. So, just kind of disappointing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. That new episode is coming out on Patreon very soon. Hope you have a good one. See you in the next one.
It was a nice view, but now it was time to make the steep ascent up to the foot of Bison Peak.
So this whole loop is going to be 28 miles. We did 4 miles yesterday, which means we can break it up into 12 miles today and 12 miles tomorrow. That's pretty ambitious. The longest I've ever done in a single day is 16.
You know, I'll be honest, I think we got an early start. You won't be getting that much plan identification.
That's true.
Which cuts down.
That would literally shave off 2 hours, I think, of any hike. 1.1 miles so far, so.
You'd be surprised, I think.
I think
what you could accomplish.
I'm ready to be surprised. This is really tough. Look at that, dude.
In the distance, we started to see fantastic views of the Rocky Mountains.
I suppose one nice thing about these intense uphills is that they're really hard, but they don't last that long. We're now at 11,500 feet. I think we have about 400 more to go. 11,900 is our peak, basically. So do you have any guesses on what those mountains are?
I think the two tall ones there with snow on the top, way to the right, I think that's Evans and Bierstadt. And then right in front of us, you'll see a pointy one right kind of poking its head up. I think that's either Grays or Tories or both. And then over here, it's tough to say, but I think that's Lincoln, Democrat, Bross, and then behind it somewhere is Quandary.
You've done Quandary now.
I've done Quandary, Democrat, Lincoln, Bross, Bierstadt. I've not done Grays, Tories, and Mount Evans.
I'm assuming that's the highest we'll go.
I'm hoping it's not much higher than that.
We're running out of land for it to be any higher. Okay, Thomas has just informed me we have 3 switchbacks left. This first one is number 1. 2 more, and we can eat some lunch. Dude, I am so hungry. Whoa.
Even Sierra's impressed.
My goodness.